I don't know if y'all saw my man who zoomed into court. All right, in case you didn't see it, basically, because of the pandemic, ever since the pandemic, court, like as in the American justice system, has started to let people zoom into some of their cases depending on what it is, which is very progressive. That's wild to let somebody zoom into court and go ahead and give me a head start if I'm found guilty. That's what it is to me. Like, imagine if I had court and they were like, you can zoom in from home. I'm like, all right. But a couple days later, they're like, Mr. Johnson, we find you guilty. You know, please report to. I'd be like, oh, yeah, I'll be right there. No, but basically, there's a court case where this judge and the lawyers are all in the courtroom, and they let the person that is accused of having a suspended license, they let him zoom into court. And so everybody's there except for him, right? And then he turns his mic and his camera on, and he is driving, all right? It's a suspended license case, but he driving. Suspended license, but you know, he's, you know. And not only is he driving, by the way, he really cutting the wheel when he turns. And so he turns his mic and his camera on, and you can see the judge. Judge is like, And even the judge is like, it's a suspended license case, right? And look, I don't know. I, thank goodness, have never had to go to court or Zoom court, all right? So I don't know what they have to do or what they don't have to do. But in my mind, like, why turn the camera on? Just turn the mic on. But maybe a condition of Zoom court is that you have to turn the camera on too, to make sure you pay attention and everything. Maybe, I don't know. But he turns his camera on, and the judge's like, sir, are you driving? Are you driving right now? And he's like, he couldn't sound happier. My man is like, yes, Your Honor, I'm pulling up right now, right? And I want to be clear, he's not pulling up to court. He's pulling up to the doctor's office, right? Because, you know, you can sometimes run some errands while you're doing Zoom court, you know, because you don't have to be there. Once again, this is very progressive. This is like real step forward. This is mind blowing. I wonder who else they let zoom into court. Like, that'd be funny if they let the bailiff zoom in too. Like, the bailiff at home, but he like, stop it. Y'all, cut it out. Cut it out. Don't make me. I will mute everybody in here. I don't care. I'll shut it down. And so the judge is like, are you driving right now? He's like, yes, but I'm pulling up, you know, I'm about to park right now. And then the judge looks at everybody and goes like, wow. It's hard to make a judge say wow. I've never tried it, but I've watched a lot of court on TV, and I can imagine wow isn't said often. You know, I'm sure even the stenographer was sitting there like, and so then he pulls up, and the judge is like, it's a suspended license case, right? And then his lawyer is like, yes, Your Honor. And he's like, but he's driving right now. Like, he in the car, like, we can see him. I saw movement. behind him, which means the car was in motion. He wasn't just sitting in a car, which would still not be advisable to your suspended license case. But like, he wasn't sitting in a car, just movement. They were like, yes, Your Honor. And then he was like, oh, okay. And the judge's name in this case is Cedric Simpson, right? So the guy driving is black, the judge is black. This man is black. He had a black judge, and he had a black judge named Cedric Simpson. He had the blackest judge possible. You had the blackest judge in America as a black man, and you are wasting all of it right now. This is Cedric Simpson. And the way my man was staring at the camera, and then he said, judge says, am I missing something here? Because I know the law. I know so much law, I'm a judge. And I don't know what's going on right now. And so then they were like, no, Your Honor, you're correct. You know, he's driving right now. And his lawyer just over here like, I've watched a lot of judging. I've watched Judge Judy. I've watched Judge Joe Brown, Judge Mathis, and never in the history of judging have I seen a black defendant with a black judge that just was looking at him. And you could tell that Cedric just wanted to be like, nigga. What are you doing? And so he's like, so he has a suspended license case, but he's driving right now. He's driving in front of us. It's on the record that he's driving. So, and then in this moment, you can see Corey is the guy that was driving, right? You can see him realize what's happening on camera. So now he's making the face that the judge made, right? Like now he's like, and at one point, because you know how Zoom does, so anyone making noise, it highlights them for a second, right? And so the judge is asking a question like, it's a suspended license case, and he was just driving right now in front of us, and you hear Corey go, And then basically, the Honorable Cedric Simpson was like, I'm gonna need you to drive to jail. But look, there's more to the case. There's actually an incredible amount more to the case, a disappointing amount more to the case. Because basically, this dude spends 2 days in jail, but then it comes to light, I don't know how, probably because of the virality of the clip, that there was actually some form of clerical error way back 2 years ago, so that his license should have never been suspended in the first place. So then he thought he was allowed to drive, right? And so then people come out of the woodwork apologizing, being like, that's so unfair. And then also it was a highlight of local government and how sometimes the government can get things wrong. There's too many people talking to each other. There's too much involved. There's too much paperwork. There's too many wires that can get crossed and everything, because they were like, oh, all you had to do was get this office to speak to this office to reinstate his license, but apparently they never did that, right? So now there was almost like a backlash to the backlash, where people were like, we messed up, we were all laughing at this guy like, what an idiot. Turns out he thought he could drive and everything. So the internet did something it very rarely ever does, ever, for anyone, for any reason. And the internet almost collectively apologized to Corey, right? And it wasn't, obviously to the amount that everyone shared the clip and everyone laughed, but everyone had something to say. Everyone was like, this guy got done dirty and we didn't know enough information. And there was someone else who didn't know enough information, the Honorable Cedric Simpson. There was something about this whole thing that was not sitting right with him, right? And so when Corey showed up for court for this case, he tells Corey, he's like, I did some digging. I looked at the friend of the court office. I looked at, basically their DMV, looked at municipal offices, took it as far as he could take it following a paperwork trail, right? As much as possible. And he said, Mr. Harris, who's Corey, you've actually never had a license. Like you never had I don't know how we got here. You've never had a license. And then Judge Sebsa asked him, he's like, where were you? And I can't remember if he said 2022 or 2023, but he was like, where were you December of 2020, whatever? And he was like, oh, I think I was, still laid up from my accident and everything. He's like, actually, no, you were at the offices getting your state ID renewed, okay? Because you keep getting state IDs and you've never had a license. What are you doing, buddy? You clearly know how to drive. You should just take the test. And then it turns out from digging deeper into Corey and into his cases and into his problems with traffic stops and everything like that, they found where he had actually admitted, apparently on body cam, to police that pulled him over that he didn't have a license on a totally different time, right? So then he had to report back to jail even though he was out on bond because they found a bench warrant for his arrest from another time he was driving without a license. Corey loved driving without a license. Driving without a license is Corey's bread and butter. He loves, there's just something about driving without a license, there's just, it's scrumptious. And I'm not gonna judge, because I've been there before in some way. Sometimes I do stuff I know I shouldn't do because it's a little bit more fun. Sometimes I'll go to a restaurant and I'll ask for a cup of water. And I get up to the machine and I hit that lemonade. You know what I mean? The sips just taste better when you know you're not supposed to have them. You know what I mean? Walking up to the foul machine like, this one's on a Wendy's. I got a newfound appreciation for moms. This past week, I love my mom. I've always appreciated my mom, but I mean moms as a whole. You know what I mean? Because the thing is, I was just at an outing, and my friend who's a new mom, she had to run and do something, and so she asked me to hold her baby. When I tell you this was the heaviest baby I've ever... The baby didn't look heavy because it's little. So you think little means little weight. And the weight, she handed me the baby, and the baby is not helping me at all. The baby doesn't even wrap his little arm around my neck or anything. Just the baby trying to be heavy, just doing this. In my arms, I'm fighting to hold this, but I've got him under the armpits, fighting to hold him up. And I'm trying to do that thing, because moms are really good at doing it. You know that little hike y'all do? You know what I'm talking about? The baby slipping a little, and you're talking to somebody, but the baby's on your hip, so you do a little hip, 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 and then you catch. I'm trying to do one of those, but I don't know how to do it. And my whole focus the entire time is, do not drop this baby. Do not drop this baby. Your life will be over. The baby's life will be, just do not drop this baby. And so I've got it like this, and I'm just holding it out, but it's slipping because it's trying to slip. It's just and it's not wiggling, but it's just it wants to be free so bad. And so I'm trying to hike it up real quick. And so I go for a quick hike up where I was I don't want to shake them, but I want to, just pop them up real quick so I can readjust my grip, right? And I also don't want to throw it. I'm not trying to put them up in the air. I'm trying to get a little bit of distance between him and my hands so I can reposition my hands, right? And so then I try to hike him up, and right at the hike, the baby kicks me. So now he's out. He's not fully out of my hands, but he's at the tips of my fingers. And so I'm like, And now I'm holding him worse. Like now, like he's not upside down, but he's definitely not right side up. Like he's kind of sideways. And this baby is so heavy that my fingers are screaming. Like, I honestly, this is so embarrassing. I'm glad nobody was looking because I was so scared I was gonna drop this baby that I was like, let me just, and so I went ahead and just slowly. Because if I drop the baby slow, it's not dropping the baby. I mean, so I was like, let me get him as close to the ground as I can while I got a grip on him, and then I can readjust from the ground. And honestly, okay, so I put him on the ground, and then I go to pick him up, because in my head I'm like, now I can really cradle him. Now I can scoop the legs and scoop the back and cradle the head and stuff like that. You know, now I can really stand up with him and hold him like a baby, right? But if I thought the baby was heavy when he was handed, trying to pick this baby up from the ground was like Thor's hammer. I don't know what. It's like the baby ate in between me holding him here and putting him down. Because trying to pick this baby up from the ground, I honestly, I had to use my legs. Like, I really had to get in squat position. I finally picked this baby up, and I'm holding him like cradled, right? But now he over here trying to slip out of the edge and be upside down. And then just then his mom walks back over, and I'm holding. He's upside down now. I'm holding his shoulder, and his foot is kicking my chin. And I'm holding his stomach around. And she's like, thank you so much. It's like she didn't even know. She's like, thank you so much. She just writes him up. Walks off, and I was like, what is she made of? That's a 600-pound baby. And so naturally, when you're 13, 14, whatever, you're not a person yet. So you're kind of a monster. And it wasn't long before I came home reading Craigslist every day before I decided to get involved. And so I started just like starting these correspondence with people, you know, like on misconnections or what. I'd pretend to be the person that they had the conversation. So I was like, yeah, baby, I got one eyebrow and the other one coming in, you know? And I was doing it every day for like months. And then some people, I would give myself away by being too into it, and they know it wasn't the person and they wouldn't respond. But other people, we get like a long correspondence for a while. And I remember one day I was, just sitting at the computer, just really excited to get into it. It was just a Tuesday, and I didn't have anything else to do. And this was a 2-hour window day, not a 1-hour window. And so on this particular day, I was just scrolling through all of Craigslist, and I saw that there was an ad. The ad just read, "Join the KKK." Question mark. And so naturally I was like, dope. And so I started a correspondence with this dude named Dale. And like, I felt kind of bad because like, if you're hurting that bad in 2004 for recruitments that you need a Craigslist ad, then we must be making progress. Like, the world's getting better. And so I talked to Dale a little bit, just emailing back and forth. I was like, hey, what's up? I'm white. You want to chill sometime and talk? And by chill, I don't mean the way black people use chill. I mean actually go somewhere cold and hang out together as friends. And to my surprise, the next day, I had an email from Dale that was like, hey, great to meet you. You seem like a cool guy. And all of our correspondence for the first couple days was like the most basic, just like, oh man, you like Star Wars too? So do I as well. Like I couldn't be natural on the thing. Like I was so nervous every time I typed. But then once we really got like a rapport built up, he was like, we should meet. I want you to meet the brothers. And I was like, that sounds great. And I grew up in Alexandria, Louisiana, which if you've never been there, don't know what it is, you're doing fine. So I guess you don't need to. But there's this bar called Finnegan's. And I was like, hey, Dale, look, just meet me at Finnegan's and we'll sit down, we'll have a chat and everything. And then if you really like me, you can introduce me and the other brothers and we can all be a family. And so the next day comes, and naturally I don't show up. I don't want to die. I was never going to. That'd be insane. No. But he hits me up the next day after school. And I should point out that, like, for 2 weeks, I was running home mainly to talk to Dale. I wasn't even reading Craigslist anymore. I had 6 friends, and Dale was one of my best ones. But I came home the other day, and he was like, hey, I went to Finnegan's, and I waited on you, and you didn't come, man. Why would you stand me up like that? And I was like, oh, dude, I'm so sorry. And so I came up with an excuse, and this is like, we're talking 2004, we're talking before, like, everybody had a cell phone, So it's like some people still, didn't have a cell phone, and they made plans and they went out and they did them, And so if there was a hiccup, you just had to roll with it because you couldn't just text someone like, hey, I'm totally not going to abide by the plan now. I've chosen a different plan. I'm letting you know now. So for a week, I just kept getting Dale to eat and shop alone. And each time I had a great excuse. Each time I was like, oh, my mom fell, and I just had to be there with her and everything. And every day he understood, and he was like, you know what? You did the right thing, brother. And I remember one day especially, he was particularly upset because he had come home, emailed me that evening, but I didn't see it till the next day. And he was like, you never came to Target. I was in Target by myself for 3 hours. I bought a popcorn maker. I don't even need a popcorn maker. I was just in Target by myself and bored, and I was waiting on you. Now I got a popcorn maker in front of me, and what are you going to do about this popcorn maker? And I was like, bruh, I'm so sorry. And by bruh, I do mean shorthand for brother, not the way that black people use it. I'm so sorry. I just, my girlfriend, she tripped. And it was always women falling. I'm surprised that he never caught on. Every time it was like, oh yeah, my great aunt just hit a stair. Or just the worst lies. Because a 14-year-old idiot. And even now, I'm like, wow, I was alone with a computer, and I just catfished the Klan. I can't think of anything dumber or more porn would have been better. Porn would have been normal. You thought you were about to hear a story about porn. And instead, it just took a wild turn. And then finally, after I think it was a week and a half, he was very resilient. They must be hurting for numbers. Because after a week and a half, he was finally like, okay, you know what? Ball's in my court now. I'm going to set a time. I'm going to set a place. And if you don't come, then don't ever talk to me again. And I was like, fair enough, okay? You've been so patient with me. I really just want to be part of the brotherhood. Just let me know where I need to be. And then he picked Finnegan's again. There's not that many places to go in my town. And naturally, I didn't show up. I didn't hear from him again. And I've noticed this trend online that's kind of disheartening, where like now people are being called racist, but for like nothing. Like actually not. I'm petty, so I'll read the whole thread. And I finish the entire thread. I'm like, oh, that was it? I don't even think that's a thing. Like, oh, you said this, you tweeted this one thing one time, you must be a racist. Or like, you voted this way, you must be a racist. You're a whole racist by a person who doesn't know you. And I'll tell you, as like a black dude that grew up in the South, I don't think you're racist until you go to your second Klan meeting, all right? Like, look. Because maybe the first one, maybe your buddy Dale's invited you to a barbecue, all right? Everybody loves barbecue, okay? You get there, there's delicious barbecue, there's dry rib, there's sloppy, it's all happening. You see somebody put on a white hood, you're like, I don't know, a costume barbecue, that's a little odd. But you just keep eating. There's corn on the cob, there's collard greens, there's brisket, there's pulled chicken, it's all delicious. And then there's a burning cross in front of you, and you're like, I'm already here. I say this because it happened to my friend Jordan, okay? He accidentally went to a Klan rally because without knowing what I was doing, my buddy Jordan, who was about 3 years older than me, actually met Dale. And got invited to a barbecue. Turns out Klan rallies don't just start, they ease you in with a barbecue. And he was like, I know what to do, I ate all the food, I can't miss the meeting. So he stayed for the entire Klan rally and went home immediately, called me, I came over, we talked about it. Turns out a Klan rally is exactly the thing a Klan rally is like. There were no spoilers. But just past his head in the kitchen, I could see a to-go plate. And I was like, Jordan, are those Klan ribs? And he was like, yeah, and I was like, can I have some? And it hurts me as a black dude that grew up in the South to say that the Klan makes the best ribs. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what kind of rub that is. Who would have known that you can't taste racism? It's delicious. Okay? It was to the point where I was like, I think you need to join. I need these every Sunday. These are amazing, guys. Guys, I'm Josh Johnson. Thanks so much.
So tomorrow we tape the set that's like the sort of New York set. So I'm doing obviously jokes I've been doing on the road and stuff, but a little bit more stuff that's like Brooklyn centric and everything. I remember early on when I was living here, I got to do a showcase and then I got to open for somebody at the Bell House. So we sold out both shows, which is like, I know it's not crazy for like any successful comedian is like, okay, you sold some tickets, so what? But just for me, it's like this whole week of like, we sold out Talia Hall in Chicago, and that's where I started, and then that's the most tickets I've ever sold I don't know. I'm just like really excited about that because I think that as much as you don't want to get caught up in any sort of like money, fame, whatever, it's just proof that what I'm doing, people are resonating with. And so that feels really special. So tomorrow we're doing 2 shows at the Bell House, and I don't know, I'm like a kid, man. I'm really excited. And it's because I've lived in New York so long, I feel like I'm doing it now for like my friends and yeah, I just get to show what I've been working on in a way that still feels like pretty personal, you know?
Wow. I love y'all. Thank you so much for being here. This is like... I've been living in Brooklyn for a long time, but I grew up in Louisiana. Nah. This is the thing, when you tell people that you grew up in Louisiana, whether you're at a party or a show, there's always somebody that's like, oh my gosh, I love New Orleans. And then I have to be like, yeah, that's not where I said I was from. Now, don't get me wrong, New Orleans is the best part. It's just the whole state around that city, you know what I mean? New Orleans to Louisiana is if you had the most beautiful blue eye, but your whole face is fucked up. Like, it's... I didn't say I was from a good part. And I was broke while I lived there too. And when you're poor in a place that's already terrible, you're just more aware that you're there. You know, I was very present in my situation. I knew if I moved, it was gonna be on foot, you know? And it's weird because sometimes you'll just be talking about your life. You'll tell someone that you grew up poor, and it starts a weird pissing contest you didn't mean to get into with anybody. You'll be talking about your life. I grew up poor, and they'll be like, oh, you think that's poor? Like, I'm not saying you weren't poor, I'm saying I was also being poor, all right? And they'll be like, I had a favorite flavor of dirt. And it's like, okay, all right. That's sad, that's sad. I'm not saying you weren't being poor over there, I'm just saying I was also poor over there. There's plenty of poverty to go around. I don't know if you've heard. Things are pretty bad for a lot of people. Just to give you an indication of how broke my neighborhood was, when I was little, my neighborhood was so poor that the church closed. If you understand the gravity of that situation, just imagine God being like, I ain't got it, all right? I don't know what to tell you. This is a bad neighborhood. I'm leaving, all right? I'm not dying again. I lived in Louisiana, didn't have any money. I moved to Chicago, was somehow poor. And now, living in New York is the first time in my life where I'm like making money, things are going well, able to take care of myself and my family and stuff like that. But it's crazy because all those years I had no money. And the first year I had any money, they taxed me like I always had money. That's pretty fucked up, isn't it? Like, I just got, you can't give me like a leap year or something to make sure this sticks? I did the thing you're supposed to do. I pulled myself up over imaginary bootstraps people are always talking about. And as I'm edging my way up the cliff of poverty, the government is staying at the top like, we would like most of that money, please. Boop. And look, don't get me wrong, I grew up the beneficiary of tax programs. I have no problem paying my fair share of taxes. I just don't like the way that we have to pay taxes. Just tell me what I owe. Like, tell me, send me a bill. Don't make me count. This is their job, and if I do it bad enough, I go to jail. That sounds fucking insane. Because I owe whatever you say I owe, so just tell me what I owe. Because then when you get the number wrong, you get a letter from the IRS the next year where they're like, hey, you're actually off by like $2,000. So you know! How do you know how off I was unless you knew the number the whole time? This is a setup. We just don't do anything else like that when it comes to money, you know? Like, you never go out to eat on a date and you sit down and you look at the menu, but there's no prices. But you order, you eat, you enjoy yourself. But then at the end of the meal, the server doesn't just walk up to you like, so, how much do you think it costs? Don't worry, I'll wait. Oh, and by the way, if you guess wrong, there is an officer waiting outside. Like, it's insanity. It's just crazy in a country like this, right? In a country with this much of a wealth gap, this much of a general income gap, where your financial well-being is left completely up to you with very little financial education to go out into the world with. It's crazy in a country like that, we still have game shows. That doesn't feel weird to anybody else that every night hundreds of people are getting on live national television to win life-changing amounts of money, and they lose and they still clap. That's the most Black Mirror shit we do. How has no one cursed on a game show yet? You went from $80,000 to zero. How has no one ever just looked down and been like, fuck? That's how we feel for them. Why aren't they freaking out? Every game show, they ask the contestants what they would do with the money, and the answers are almost always practical. You know, what would you do if you won tonight? And people are like, oh, I got some student loans I'd pay off. Love to pay off the rest of my auntie's house. Yeah. And then they lose. They go from $80,000 to zero, but by the time the camera pans to them, they're like, maybe next time. It's like, did they give you drugs before the show started? Why are you so calm right now? Host of a game show is always a millionaire. That doesn't seem to bother anybody. It's never someone with a median income that could be just excited for you if you won because they understand the stakes. It's always like Ellen DeGeneres. And she's leaned over next to you like she's your friend, you know? She's like, oh, wow. What are you gonna do? I mean, $50,000 is a lot of money, you know? I mean, not to me. No, I could buy and sell your children, all right? No, but for you, this is a lot of money, you know? And the audience is on your side. Don't you other poors want him to win? Like, we live in an almost cashless society. You use your card for everything. You might use Apple Pay for the rest. And yet, when people are desperate enough, they'll still rob a convenience store or a bank, just get their hands some quick cash to feel like they have a chance. How has no one robbed a game show yet? If I was on Wheel of Fortune and I was in dire straits and I went from $100,000 to zero, I think I'd just be like, I'm sorry, Pat. I think we're gonna have to keep playing. No, fuck that. That was a bad spin. Let me spin again. That's bullshit. Let me spin again. Let me spin up. Vanna. If you move, I will blow your head off, all right? I can touch the screens myself. You think Howie Mandel is strapped? He's not. Go to Deal or No Deal with a fucking gun and be like, open all of them. How about that? I've been watching my friends date, and it's hard out here, you know? It's tough for people, especially because we're not kind to each other. Like, it's terrifying to be vulnerable when you know people are just ruthless, you know? And the thing I watch happen more than anything else, especially between men and women, is we'll use a stereotype to write the other person off, you know? Like, from men to women, it's crazy. It's like, oh, listen to her, she crazy as hell, crazy ass. And then for women to men, it's creepy. Oh, listen to him, he a creepy ass, creepy as hell. You know? I'm not saying those two things don't exist. I'm just saying the threshold to be those two things is incredibly low. Like, in order for a woman to be crazy, all she has to do is have a feeling, all right? Any feeling. It could be positive. She could be laughing. You're like, nah, it's crazy as hell. I don't like that. I want that type of laughter in my life. No, thank you. And all a dude has to do to be creepy is age. That's it. Bro, just be you and 60. Just keep living your life, but be 60. Someone will be like, ah. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've been out with a girlfriend. She's like, look at that creep sitting by himself at the bar. I'm like, yeah, it sounds like he's not bothering anyone. Like, let that dude be 60 somewhere. Because what I don't like about it is that it's almost always covering up a thing. It's a thing you don't want to say. So you say the thing that's a stereotype to get people on your side. You know? Like, is she crazy? Is she really crazy? Or did you just get caught? So it is like half the time you were doing something you weren't supposed to be doing, and she caught you, and now in the face of facts and evidence and good points, all you have left is try to make her question reality, you know? That's why dudes be up here like, she believe everything she see with her eyes. She crazy as fuck. Like, I can't deal with this type. I didn't sign up for this. Like, just because she saw me do it, she gonna be like, you did it. This bitch crazy as hell. I can't. Is he creepy? Is he truly creepy? Or is he just ugly? Like, when are we gonna start being honest? I get it, he has a crush on you, and it's sweet, but when he looks at you, his eyes don't go in the same direction, and it's upsetting. But we can't just add a whole personality trait. Did we learn nothing from The Hunchback of Notre Dame? An entire Disney movie dedicated to this exact situation. Quasimodo wasn't creepy, heart of gold, but he was fucked up looking. We can all admit it. And he laid his feelings out for Esmeralda. Esmeralda did her damnedest. She really did. Quasimodo told her how he felt, and Esmeralda was like, ooh. Quasi, look, he a knight. Okay, this might be my only chance to get out the hood, all right? You understand. Which is honestly Esmeralda's loss, you know? It really is, because you know Quasimodo was packing, all right? He had to be. Nobody walks like that doesn't have a hog, all right? That whole movie that it was up here doing this shit, like... Nah, he was slinging pipe, okay? And he was strong enough to ring the bell by himself. He would have split Esmeralda in two. She wasn't ready. She wasn't ready. You know what I mean?
The name of the tour has like so many different meanings. Like there's the 15 aspect of like trying to release 15 minutes every week. There was the, you know, the sort of freshman is like a renewal thing. Like this is my first year doing stuff the way that I've been doing it. But I still feel like so new. I still feel like a baby sometimes, because then you get around people who are just masterful. Like you see the way that they work and the way that they write, or just their stage presence. So much to learn from everybody, and I feel like I'm still just soaking it all up. Like I don't know. Like I still feel like I'm like everybody's little brother sometimes, because I'm so curious about how everyone thinks and about how they put together what they put together. Watching people be so much more centered than you even know how to be, that's fascinating. And then watching someone take over with their stage presence in a way that's like magic, you know? It's like, I feel like it is like magic sometimes when you look at magicians, and magicians, a lot of them probably know what each other's tricks look like, but every once in a while somebody will create something, and they'll pull something out of nowhere that even makes the magicians go like, damn, that's wild. And I feel like that for jokes sometimes, you know, and that's what I want to create for other comics and other people. It's just like, you think you know where I'm going and you don't, you know, or just the whole overall thing was like an experience.
Y'all have great laughs. I love y'all because y'all are actually laughing. You know what I mean? Like, you'd be surprised how many people pay money to come to a comedy show, buy drinks, and then still don't laugh because they're self-conscious about their laugh. But your laugh is still you expressing joy. We can't be so hard on ourselves that we're like, no, my joy is stupid. I sound like a fucking idiot when I'm happy. I was gonna sit here and stare so I look normal. in the entire time that I've been doing comedy, I've honestly only ever heard one weird laugh. I was doing this show in Amsterdam, and there was a guy, center, dead center. I don't even remember what I said that got him so good. But this dude went to laugh, and I'm not even kidding. This is a perfect impression of his laugh. He went, not only did I stop, the entire audience stopped. And someone sitting behind him actually jumped up and wrapped their arms around, started giving him the Heimlich. Because we were all sure, we're like, that's a dying person. There's no joy in there. I'm not gonna lie, I had a flashback just then. Like that. When you coughed, I was like, there's no way. There's no way he made it to Brooklyn. That's wild.
Logan and I actually met in Chicago, and we did a few shows together before we started really hanging out and everything. And so it's just, yeah, it's important to me to have him there for stuff, because it's someone who I think when you are on the same wavelength as a friend for long enough, you can start to look at each other like that moment, like that moment where something weird happens and then you don't have a person to look at to be like, this is insane, right? It's like Logan is that person for me when it comes to comedy. We have a good way of seeing each other, and I feel like we bring out the funniest parts of each other, So that's been great, and we've been doing that for like 3 years now. And so he's also gonna be doing the Bell House tomorrow. Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. I slept pretty well. I had that sleep where you fall asleep and then you wake up in a panic, thinking it's been maybe 10 minutes and it was all night, which I think is good sleep, even though you woke up like screaming. Drinking some white tea, it's apparently even better for you than green tea. And I haven't had it in a while, but I need lots of energy tonight because we have 2 shows at the Bell House. We sold them both out. So I just want to make sure it's a good show for everyone. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little, there's a hair in here. Feel free to cut this. I don't want people knowing I drink hairy tea. I mean, it's not a foreign hair. It's not like a hair that's like not from this house, It's recognizable. Now it's and this thing is like $16 or something. So I can't waste this cup. It's dry leaves.
I think I've been freaking out about getting older in a way. Like I feel like it's hard not to compare yourself with anyone else your age and just or anyone in your career and everything, and wonder if you're not aging in like the right way, And I wanna, I don't know, I wanna age as best as possible because it's coming. There's nothing you can do about it. But there's just so many, there's only a few lanes, it seems, as an old man that you can go. There's only a few directions. You could be creepy old man. You could be like an angry old man. You could be a sweet old man. Or you could just have dementia. Like, it's just, these aren't a lot of great options, you know? And I'm scared because I don't know how much you choose. Like, life keeps happening and you keep reacting to it, and every reaction feels rational, but who's to say? You know, I'm scared I'm gonna become like an angry old man because I already hate kids. But not kids at large, not kids as an idea. I got beef with specific children. There's a few of them already that like, ooh, one day, you know what I mean? Like, just, I'll tell you about one of them. I was walking down the street and I was minding my own business, how most of my stories start, right? And then there was this Girl Scout. No, you need to be on my side, all right? I'm gonna tell you what she did, just listen, okay? I was walking down the street and there was this Girl Scout and she over here working her little corner or whatever, like. And she laying it on thick too, like cookies, you know, like all that stuff. And so I'm walking and then I'm trying to just avoid eye contact because she already not at my height level, so I'm just staring straight ahead and she like cookies, all that stuff, right? And then she like leaned in just to make eye contact and was like cookies, and I was like, oh no, I'm okay. Thank you so much though. You have a wonderful day. I said all that. I didn't need to say all that. I didn't say all that at all. I could have just kept walking. I could have acted like something was playing in my AirPods, like something, right? But I said that because I'm like, look, she out here, young woman trying to be an entrepreneur. I'm gonna give her an encouraging word, okay? I'm not gonna give her any money, but she's gonna, you know, get good vibes off me. So I'm walking, I'm like, oh, no thank you, but you have a great day. And I'm not even past her yet. She's still right here. As I get closer, she goes, it's okay if you're broke. What? What? Who? What do you do next? Do you know what I mean? This is crazy. This is just, and so that I shouldn't have stopped. I should not have stopped. I should have just kept going about my day. But now I'm like level with, and I stopped. I was like, excuse me, and she goes, it's okay if you're broke. She said it again. That's the Bronx. Like, that's something specific in a person to say that I'm closer to you now. That's crazy. You're out here by yourself. Where are your parents? You're out here selling cookies on the corner talking shit. That's so insane. And it's like, what do you do next? I can't just be out here yelling at this. I can't just be a grown black man out here on the street yelling at a little girl holding cookies. Fox News would have a fucking field day if I'm just out here, they get a still of me like, she's holding the cookies like this. New York Post, black man strikes again. That's... No, what do you do? So I hit her with everything that felt like within the parameters of polite conversation to do. I told her, I was like, Santa ain't real, all right? Too fair. No, because she was gonna find out anyway. And with a little girl like this, Santa ain't coming anyway. So like, let me just... I'm like, Tooth Fairy ain't real, Easter Bunny ain't real. And she was like, I know. And you don't have any real money. And I left because what do you do? So I left, but I was like, I'm gonna go home, and I'm gonna pray, all right? I'm gonna pray against this little girl. Lord, just keep it that same size her whole life, just. There was a while back where I still hadn't got like my money right, and I remember the AirPods came out, Apple AirPods, and I don't know why, but I wanted them. And I don't even know why I think I wanted them because I knew I couldn't afford them. It was just something to have, right? Something to use as a marker to be like, I got it like that now, right? And so I'd saved up a little bit, but I still didn't have enough. Now I was getting close, and I decided, no, I'm not gonna spend this on something material. I'm gonna take this money, and I'm gonna spend it on something that could be like a memory, something that I won't lose, you know, something that can't just break, right? And so I took a trip to Mexico, and when I was in Mexico, I saw some knockoff AirPods. And they were cheap, and they weren't just cheap by conversion rate, they were cheap in pesos. They were so cheap, I thought they were a toy, right? But I was like, let's roll the dice and see if these really work, right? If they compare to my phone and everything. And so I bought them, I brought them home, and I opened the box. Now the box was bigger than AirPod box usually is. And then I opened it up, and then the AirPods were like 3 times bigger than AirPods are supposed to be. So first of all, when I put them in, they genuinely hurt. Like these, like, I don't have the biggest ears, but these were hurt. I had to wrench them in. I had to like use leverage to squeeze them into my head. And then, you know how they're supposed to come here? Like, it's like they were hanging low. Like, it's like, anybody that could see me could see these weren't real AirPods. They look like 2 wrenches hanging out of my head. And so I remember I turned them on, and I had to press the button because they were so big, they had buttons. All right, so I pressed the button, and it didn't even make a technology sound. It wasn't like, it was like, immediately. And I don't know if this is related, but as soon as I turned them on, my balls hurt. I don't know if that's part of it, but I turned them on, and it was like, and like, immediately. And so I turned them on, and then while I had them on, my mom called me. And I've never used any sort of listening device that could connect to Bluetooth where somebody called you and sounded like they were behind you. Like, I hit the button to answer the call. I was like, ding, ding, and then, because you had the ding, ding, and then I hit the ding, ding, and then I was like, hey, Mom, and she was like, hey, how you doing? I was like, oh. And I tried it for 3 weeks. 3 weeks, every day, I was like, it's not gonna hurt tomorrow. Kept putting them in my head, kept wrenching them in. It took 3 wrenches to get them in. It was like, doom, 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 and they both be in, and like, and like, every day for 3 weeks, right? And then finally, I had to hang it up. I was like, you know what? If you want something, you gotta get the real thing, you know? You gotta get the genuine product. And so I went ahead, I put them up, stopped using them, saved up my money, got some real AirPods. But then the real AirPods, they didn't fit in my ear because I had stretched it so much. And my right one snapped back a little bit, but my left one still loose. Like, my ear ussy is not tight at all. It's loose as hell. And so if I even yawn, the left one fall out. The left one is consistently in danger. I only put the right one in on a plane. I can't risk it.
So conveniently, I just happened to have the cue cards from when I did tonight's show.
Our next guest can be seen at the Helium Comedy Club.
Oh yeah, I was doing the clubs that week. And Josh Johnson, see him at the Helium Comedy Club.
In St. Louis, November 2nd and 3rd.
Please welcome the very funny
Josh Johnson!
And then these are the jokes I did.
Guys, I'm Josh Johnson. Thanks so much. Y'all have a great night.
We'll be right back.
Josh Johnson!
So we are on our way to the Bell House right now. It's finally happening. We're about to get ready for the show. Yeah, still pretty, I don't know, still pretty, like, nervous in a sense, because I'm a little this is very unprofessional of me, but I'm a little unsure of exactly what I want to do as far as like, I've got the set, but then joke to joke, I'm like wondering if little middle pieces need to be there and stuff like that. So it's like still just tinkering with it in my head and stuff. And there's nothing that I think is gonna bomb. And I think that is most of what doing comedy is like. Everything that I'm gonna do tonight, I think works. So if it doesn't, that will be news to me. I have this one that I'm really excited to do because it's like, I've done it a couple times before, but it's about someone that I know and how she did ayahuasca for the first time. And yeah.
I've been doing my best to read more, and there's a thing I've been thinking about all year, about how back in the earliest civilizations, if someone wanted to seek a higher self, they always sought some sort of deity. There was a god that them and their tribe worshipped, you know, that made them feel closer to something bigger. And as society progressed and you had slightly more modern civilization, still ancient to us, it splintered a little bit. There was a god, but then there was also spirituality. You could seek a higher self. And then there was also the tribe or the state. There became a thing of, as long as it's not about me, then maybe it can be bigger than me. And then you fast forward to modern times, to today, and it's completely splintered off. Some people, it's still God, some sort of spirituality. Other people, it's a cause. It's something that they feel they can use to make the world a better place, leave it better than they found it, you know. I have a friend who seeks her higher self through drugs. Like mind-expanding, mind-altering drugs to get a better sense of who she is, whatever that bigger self is supposed to be. And she told me a little while back that she did ayahuasca. And she had always been terrified to do ayahuasca because she wasn't sure of the place that it would take her, and she was ready to see herself in that light, you know? And she told me, and I was like, oh, well, you know what? Good for you. There was something you were scared to do, and you did it. You made it happen, right? And we were talking about it, and she was like, yeah, it's just so serendipitous. You know, I was just at the grocery store, and I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, I was at the grocery store near my place. And I was like, you did in Brooklyn? Like, what? I thought you flew to Peru or something. It's like, yeah, I did at the grocery store near my place. You know, I met this guy, and we got to talking, and we were on the same vibe, and he told me that he had some, and I was like, wait. You know how black people have a reputation for talking during the movie? I was doing that the whole story. Like, she's telling me about a story in the past, and I'm still like, bitch, get out the room. Get out the room. And it's like, yeah, so when, you know, we were talking, we were on similar wavelength and everything, and so, you know, I went back to his place with him because he said that he had some, and he showed me how to do it, and honestly, as soon as I smoked it, and I was like, what? I don't know if y'all have ever done ayahuasca. I've never done ayahuasca, but every documentary I've watched about ayahuasca, it's a drink. There's never a pipe involved. And she was like, yeah, as soon as I smoked it, I could just feel like, I felt so much energy. I could feel like my ancestors rushing through me and everything. And I was like, oh, Bethany. Bethany, you smoked crack. Like, I hate to be the one to tell you. You seem excited about everything that happened. I hate to break to you, but you got me more discerning. This is insane. I could just feel like the ancestors coursing through me. It's like, are you related to Reagan? Like, what are you talking about? It's chaos.
Comedy was the first way I learned how to like really communicate with people. And so watching other people communicate, even if I'm just watching my friend's show, like I'm gonna watch Logan go up tonight, I'm gonna watch Onika before I go up. I think that you get such a slice of a person and who they are when you watch them do comedy. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Do you get nervous? Are you nervous?
I'm not nervous yet. It might hit me like in a little bit. Like probably when the show is starting, I'll probably get a little nervous.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
But
I feel like I don't get, once I'm up, everything is fine.
Yeah, once I'm up, it goes away. But it's like it'll start like
Yeah.
once like they start pre-show announcements or whatever. Once lights change, then there'll be a little bit.
Yeah.
A lot of times not much, but maybe for something like this, maybe a little bit more.
Once I am up there, though, I feel like I am where I'm supposed to be. So it all sort of melts away.
I'm very grateful, though, to a good portion of my family. Family teaches you how to deal with the same type of people that you're going to meet out in the world as them, right? I feel like I deal with crazy people well because my uncle. My uncle is a conspiracy theorist, but he don't believe in any of the popular ones. Everything my uncle say, I've never heard anybody else say in my entire life. I was at my uncle's house one time. I was just chilling with him, right? Sitting there watching TV. Out of nowhere, my uncle turns to me during a commercial, and he goes, "You know them kangaroos is a myth." What do you say to that? What do you say next to something like that? What's the plan now? You know what I mean? And this is my thing with conspiracies, is that if there's money to follow, I can understand how somebody got there, right? I'm not saying it makes it true. I'm not saying it's any less crazy, but money is an incredible motivator. It's one of the most powerful ones that we have as people. So if there's money to follow, I could see how someone arrived at some sort of conclusion, as crazy as it may be. So I asked him, who is making money off of all of us believing in kangaroos? And without missing a beat, he was like, "I bet them zoos making a pretty penny." It's like, that's... What's wrong with you? Like, you think there's just a guy? You think there's just a guy in a suit, just a former Olympian jumping as high as he can for 8 hours a day? He's like, "You making some good points." I'm like, I'm not in it. I'm asking you questions. I don't agree with your thing. Don't do that. I sat down with this man and watched an 1.5-hour documentary about kangaroos that I didn't need because I'm a believer. And at the end, he just turns to me, he's like, "That's a deep fake. I know a deep fake when I see one." I'm like, "You're beyond help." I think that's why I'm so freaked out about getting older. It's the way that we treat people who are older. It's who we turn into when we get older. You know? Like I've had the blessing of being around people who were much, much, much older than me. There's a relative I have. He's so old we don't know how old he is. We just, and now he can't even tell us. He's like, from before. A lot has happened. But we know he's over 90 because he got that 90 face. You know what I'm talking about? He already got that. Everybody in here who knows my 90 know what I'm talking about. They all make the same face. They're always like, "Huh!" Non-stop. No matter where you take them, every all the time. It's like they're surprised they're still alive. Like every night they go to sleep and they wake up, they think it's gonna be heaven and it's regular earth. And they're like, "Oh! I'm so old!" And I used to wonder why they made that face, and I think I figured it out. All of us are still living in the world. We're still active participants in the world. Things happen in the world, we react to them in real time. We still affect change in the world. He's not like that. He's been retired for decades. He's been sitting on a couch watching Westerns. He's not in the world. So every once in a while, somebody tells him something that's happening in the world, and he's shocked. And that's what you're seeing is permanent shock face on people in their 90s. Because I'll say something I don't even think is that groundbreaking. You know? I'll just be chilling with him. And he'll be like, ah! They made women's basketball? I'm like, yeah, dude, a long time ago. When are you from? You know? But it's a blessing to have people like that in my life. It actually, you know, I appreciate it for what it is. And I hope I get to live that long. But if I do, then I'm gonna have a thing. There's gonna be one day where I'm like, ah! It makes me wonder what mine is gonna be. You know? Like, it's probably gonna be a sex thing. I feel like social stuff, I'm pretty malleable. Things sort of roll off my shoulder. But I think one day in 2050, I'll be sitting there like, ah! They're sucking elbows now? That's pretty docile. It'll probably be worse than that. That's, you know. Has somebody ever asked you to do something in bed that made you go like, Did the last guy do it? Because like if the last guy did that, I'll do it. But if you just came up with this, I don't feel comfortable, all right? Don't get me wrong, if the last guy did it, I'll do it. I'm not gonna be outdone. But if you just came up with this, I need to do some research because I've never heard of that before. You know? I just don't want to do something for someone and then they go out in the world and they're like, Josh loves sucking elbow. It's like, no, don't do that. Tell him you asked me to, all right? Tell him you had to ask me twice, okay? Because first I said no, then I said, then I did it. I sucked a girl elbow one time, but she asked me to. I didn't get it either. It didn't make sense to me. Sitting there like, is your wiener stimulated? Like, no. Like y'all look like y'all are together, you know? It's just extra skin. That's what's weird. Like y'all might go home later and get a little freaky and everything, and like, look at your elbow and look at his balls. That's the same skin, you know what I mean? That's why I don't like when women are like, ugh, balls are gross. It's like, you got balls too, bitch. Don't do that.
How do you feel the tour has been this year? Because this kind of whole year has been the freshman tour. And we've been a lot of different places, both flying, road trips, a little mix of everything. How's that all, when you look back on it?
When I look back, I feel really good about it because I think that we've both grown, and I also feel like we've made better and better shows. Oh, well, now you're ruining it. Don't touch me. This is terrible.
Sorry, this is actually how we are. I'm sorry if it's bad for this. This is...
I think that we've made better and better shows for people to come to.
I think so.
I think that, for the most part, I can't help but be happy with everything. And then it's great to meet people afterwards and hang out with them and talk to them and stuff. I'm always bummed out when there's like too much of a time crunch to do the meet and greet, like if we have to leave or something, or if there's another show right after or something, like that always makes me a little sad because I do like to meet everyone and I don't know, I'm a chatty guy.
Yes. And that's why sometimes with meet and greets, I'm working as security to keep it moving.
Welcome to the stage, please.
Yeah.
I do want to take a second to thank every single one of you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Like, my life really changed this year, and it's because of y'all. You know? Like, this has been, you know, my dream to do this since I was a little kid. And I'm doing it now because because of y'all, you know? I think if it wasn't for y'all, I'd just be in a room by myself, which would be pretty jarring, you know? Because to me, comedy is a lot like magic, you know? If a magician is doing tricks for nobody in the room, he's just a person lying to himself. I'm about to make this disappear. It's in my hand. You know? And it's the same way for comedy. If I was here without you, I'd just be sitting in a room by myself being like, maybe this is a good idea. So I appreciate y'all. And I've had to do a lot of self-reflection this year. Maybe I can make this idea make sense. Okay, there's a person that I think that I am, and a person that I actually am. And I spend all my time trying to make sure that those two people are the same person. Does that make sense? I don't want to walk around delusional, not really know myself, what I'm like, you know? Best example I can give is, years ago, I was at this 4th of July celebration. It was going to be the biggest one that the county I was in had ever put on. They had spent thousands and thousands of dollars for these like tubed cannons pointing straight up, right? And they set them up all the way down the parking lot, all the way down the beach, almost to the water. And at 8 o'clock, they started firing them off. It's the loudest thing I've ever heard. And it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen because it took up the entire sky. I still don't know what went wrong. But out of nowhere, 2 rows of the cannons fell over. So now they're shooting at us. And so we scatter, right? And as I'm running, I see this one woman off by herself. As the fireworks are shooting past her, she's just going, oh. And it's like, first of all, what is your plan here, ma'am? Your whole face is still, what is this hand protecting? And then a dude who I have to assume was her husband, because he didn't look like a boyfriend, because he didn't look good. You know what I mean? Like, he just, I don't know, he had those bad knees, like he played football in the 70s or something. He's like, I'm coming, baby. And he made his way over to her. And she's right here, right? And when he runs over and he gets to her, he does this. Like a standing spread eagle to cover his wife from the oncoming fireworks, right? And then a whistler. I don't know if you know which one that is, but it does a tight circle, no color. One of those is coming right at him, all right? And then right when the whistler was to him, where you are to me, he went, oh, and then moved out of the way. His wife caught the full shit in the chest. It was exploding on her chest. And I don't know if you watch anime growing up, but it looked like the bitch was powering up. Like she was like, oh! She looked like Goku for 6 seconds. Like, oh! She got so bright, I was like, she dead. There is no way. But that's what I mean. There's a dude he thought he was. And a dude he actually was. Because in his mind, he's the type of dude to take a whistler to the chest for his wife. But in real life, he was a dude willing to find a new wife. Like, thank y'all so much. I'm Josh Johnson. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean it. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for coming out. And there's a lot more to come. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Yeah, we did it. Yeah.
No, I'm pretty nervous. I might still botch this entire thing. This may be wholly unusable. If anybody sees this, it means I thought maybe I slid into home, or maybe we just spent enough money that it would be insane to not put it up. Do you know what I mean? It would be a waste to just not use any of this, even if I did kind of botch it. I mean, do I sound okay? I think I'm getting a sinus infection. Like, as I'm talking to you, I'm getting, like, drainy. I'm just gonna do something to, like, say thank you for everything. So I'm gonna read it to you. You just tell me if it's, like, I don't know, if it sounds okay. All right, ready? When I started in Chicago, I couldn't really dream of doing what I'm doing now. This tour has been life-changing, and getting to come back to one of the places that feels most like home made it even more special. Thank you is too few words to describe the gratitude I have for every one of you, but here it goes. Thank you for every ticket that you bought. Thank you for every video you watch. Thank you for saying what's up or love your stuff on the street. Thank you for putting the people you know onto me. Thank you for every comment. Thank you for every video shared. Thank you for following with me as I evolve. Thank you for enjoying the climb. Thank you for changing my life. Thank you for being my friends. Oh, and thanks for having patience with me. Yeah.
Make it loud for the very funny Josh Johnson.
I don't know if y'all saw it yet, but Justin Timberlake got arrested. Justin Timberlake got arrested for a DWI in what he was in the Hamptons. How fast do you have to be going as a white man in the Hamptons to get pulled over? Because I was reading the story, and this man gets pulled over, and then I guess his friends noticed that he left or whatever, so then they also left, and then they saw him getting pulled over, so they pulled up, and they were trying to, like, beg the cop to cut him a break. They're like, he's I don't know if he was close to home, but they were, like, making excuses for him. And in my head, even in that moment, I was like, why didn't y'all give him a ride? Like, that's... Justin Timberlake is so rich. How do you have all that money and you don't have a driver? That's crazy. That's so irresponsible. You got all the NSYNC money. Could have hired one of them to drive. I was reading the story. It was heartbreaking. Not even as a, I don't know what's happening. I truly don't. I truly have no idea. But like, that shit sounded like an attack. That was. God, who makes that their alarm? God damn. That's the most savage. That's. It feels like my high school bully came to the show. It was wild. No, you're fine. Life happens, but you gotta pick a different one, because that feels so crazy. Because the first time I heard it, I was like, maybe I'm a little too hot in this hoodie. Maybe I'm about to faint, because I feel like I'm outside right now. And then I heard it again, I was like, nah, that's crickets. That's... Jeez, what? I didn't know we had beef like that. You were over here like... And I'm gonna sit in the front, too. I got his ass. No, I got him. Man, no, it feels like an ex paid you. That is so wild. No, I'm gonna wait till he think he making one of his little points. Nah, I got his ass. Oh, God. Oh. No. I don't know. I feel weird about it. I feel like maybe you look at Justin Timberlake and whatever hex Britney Spears put on is working. It's working overtime. And fame is a very interesting thing. Fame is a mystery. It really is, because Justin Timberlake is doing an arena tour. A whole arena tour. But when he got pulled over and they asked him to step out of the car, the cop didn't know who he was. The cop didn't know who he was because the cop was too young. And I don't know about you, but that hurt me. I was reading the article and it said that the cop was too young to know, and I think I got 3 wrinkles on my knuckles. Right then, I was like, ah. No, it was absolutely insane. Doesn't know who he was. Like, if only Justin had been pulled over by a single mom of 2. You know what I mean? Just a millennial single mom of 2. She would have been like, I'll give you a ride. Come on. No, put the lights on and everything. Woo, woo, we gotta get Justin home. Then they took that man to jail to take a picture. That picture, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's not an album cover. That face that Justin made is the most encapsulating face of a man in trouble I've ever seen in my life. You know what I mean? Like you can see in his eyes, he thinking about how he'll have to call Jessica. Whoa. That was wild. And then this is my conspiracy theory. There's nothing to back up what I'm saying. There's not a shred of evidence and there's not a word from anyone that backs up what I'm saying. But I think, okay, do y'all remember Justin? You remember that decade that Justin wanted to be black? Do you remember that? Do you remember that decade that Justin was like y'all remember that, right? That I feel like at first when he got there and they flashed the picture, and also I'm sure that they turned the brightness up extra on mug shots because like people who you could tell were ready don't look ready when they take the picture. That thing is so bright, it must be prolonged, make you open your eyes to be like, huh. Like it's. I think after he took the picture and he's also sobering up a bit, he was like, wait. This is just street cred. Let me go ahead and milk it, right? Because there have been varying reports on whether or not Justin was handcuffed, right? And personally, my conspiracy, I don't think he was. I feel like Justin was like, look, I know I'm about to go, but can you cuff me real quick? And the cop was like, what? It's like, can you cuff me real quick? Like, just, you know, there's gonna be people waiting out there. Can you cuff me real quick? And he's like, I don't even know you. Like, please just do it. He's like, I'm not gonna do that, but I'll just stand in front of the door, hold the door open. He was like, okay, all right. And then he walked out, and if you look at the thing, he's got his hands clasped together, but you don't see any like loose chain dangling. And when you zoom into the picture, it looked like a little bit of leather on that. Like, that's a bracelet. That's a bracelet, but then JT over here doing his best Malcolm X impression. My man. Another black man locked up. Oh. Yeah. Actually, okay. Did y'all see? Did y'all see the white woman that got in trouble for saying the N-word? I know you said which one. Okay, fair enough. Okay, I say the because this was the for me. It's like other people were saying it, people were saying it all the time, but this one felt especially crazy. So I followed the story because it is captivating. Okay, so basically, okay, where do I even start? There's a thing called trad wife. Now, trad wife is short for traditional wife, right? Trad wife is like this content thing that they do on TikTok. It's spilled over to Instagram a little bit, and it's basically women doing like stuff around the house while telling women to be better women, right? It's just like, why don't you be a lady while she makes a pie or something? I don't get it. It's not for me. I'm not who watches it. But basically, there was this young white woman that was over here cooking something. It didn't look done. And maybe it was done. Maybe she's bad at it. I don't know. But it did not look done. But then she's talking about her friends, and then she says, because then some of my friends out here are just like, out here dating these guys and, broke ass niggas, right? And she says it without missing a beat. She says it like you're not gonna hear it, right? So then, of course, everyone who saw this, like, it started this frenzy online, right? And so there were all these people, she did on TikTok, there was all these people commenting, replying, what's wrong with you? What are you doing? Are you trolling? All stuff like that, right? And then she makes another video, and she's like, look, I made a video earlier that offended a community or something, and like, and I've really listened to the feedback, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't really give a care. Like, I don't know. It's like, so then they found her job, right? Which is crazy because you a trad wife. Why you working? Why? You know what I mean? Why are you're supposed to be a traditional wife. Why are you working at all? You can't trad wife on the side. You can't. There's no such thing as halfway crooks. You know what I mean? You gotta be all in or all out, right? And so then they found her job, then they got her fired from her job, right? So then everyone was like talking about how, she clearly got fired, even though they don't say her name, they issued a press release because why else would they do it? And they were like, yeah, certain individual's not working here anymore. So then, she starts trying to cozy up to like, Newsmax and like One Nation News and just a lot of the alt-right on Twitter and everything. And she takes this spin of like, I was canceled, right? So she gets on Newsmax real quick, but she also just doesn't quite have the juice. You know what I mean by that? She doesn't quite have the like, the presence and the energy of like a real racist is gonna be a newscaster. You know what I mean? Like, she just doesn't have it. Like, when you're watching her, you're like, she's saying bad things and they're annoying, but I'm not angry. She just doesn't have the oomph to get me there. You know what I mean? Like, I've just never seen diet racism before, but that was it. So then she makes more videos trying to double down harder. And in these upcoming videos, she just gets way worse with it. Gets like even more bigoted with it. So she's tweeting the N-word all the time. She's been tweeting the N-word nonstop since she got fired, right? And now she's making videos where she's saying the F-word, right? And so she's just going after everybody, just trying to prove how terrible that she is, right? And so then she starts trying to cozy up to a lot of these, like, especially neo-Nazis as much as she can. And then
Then a turn takes place, an incredible turn that I could not have predicted. One of the most insane things that has maybe happened so far this century, the neo-Nazis start rejecting her as a psyop. Because they feel what I feel. They see the video and they're like, you don't mean it though. Like it's not... It's not like coming out of your stomach, you know what I mean? Like it's not, you're not even saying it with bass, you know? Like you don't, like, and so then they were like, no, don't trust her, okay? Don't listen to her, don't follow her. She working for the CIA, she probably a Fed. They all turned on her. They started bullying her. It was absolutely insane. It was one of those things where then she keeps trying to cozy up to him. She keeps trying to like take pictures with him. She's going to events and stuff like that. And some of the ones that roll with her are rolling with her in real time, you know? And they're like making fun of how other people are making fun of her, but you can tell she's still not like in yet, you know? She's not like with them hard. But then there are some people that can't stand her so much. This happened like a week ago. So in the course of 3 days, they can't stand her so much that they start digging up her old tweets, right? So then another thing I never would have seen coming, they dig up her old tweets and they find old, not racist tweets from like 2 years ago where she was telling somebody, hey, that's actually appropriation. You might not want to do that. And so now she getting canceled by the neo-Nazis for old, not racist tweets. So then she over here fighting for her life, trying like N-word, F-word, everything, just throwing it all out there, trying to see what sticks. And then other people will comment under her on Twitter like, is this you, bitch? Miss Stolen Land? You know? And she just played it. She played it poorly. That's what happened. She could have had a real shot. She could have. But she doesn't have enough of the real. You can tell she's not really racist. I know it's a weird thing to say about somebody who's been saying the N-word nonstop for a week, but you can just tell she doesn't have the fire in her. You know, that's not how you do it. You were making racist people uncomfortable. There were racist people commenting under her like, this is uncouth. That's not how you do it. If you really want to be somebody as a racist, if you really want to make waves as a bigot, you start out slow. You start with a bunch of slow and steady dog whistles over decades. You know what I mean? You never say the word outright. You throw out a thug here every once in a while. You know what I mean? Every once in a while, like on a holiday, you can get real crazy with it. You can do like a animals or something. It's like, get people going, you know? Plant your feet, but don't dig too deep. And then after a while, you know, you start to ingratiate yourself. They start to be like, hey, she's one of us. And then they bring you in, and maybe they bring you in on a temporary basis, and they give you like a little guest spot every now and again. And then after a couple decades, you get a hosting gig, you know? Because be honest, like if a week from now, Megyn Kelly said the N-word, we'd be like, yup. We expected that. She's been earning it over decades. The expectation lands right on the strip perfectly. And then we also find out that she might be single, so you're not only not a trad wife, you're not a wife. What are you doing? Where's your man right now? Like you weren't a trad wife. You were working. You were a mom, but you were working, and you're a single working mom. That's a bigger demographic to appeal to. She really put herself in the position where she really needs a husband like this.
when I can. Mire, when I can.